we doing? How many people are here? Oh, we got 100 here. We can start on 100. I'm happy with that. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ASM AMA. It says number 25, so we'll roll with it. It's probably number 25. Sounds about right. Once again, apologies for the delays. Unfortunately, David's house's internet kind of blew up a couple of days ago. As some of you, or most of you would be aware, New Zealand's had a lot of flooding and cyclones, and there's a lot of damage out where David is. Which is causing all sorts of issues. So we had to delay, but we are here today and we are ready to go. For those of you that didn't see, if you check the ASM Leaks channel, you will see a lovely little video that we posted when the last AMA was meant to be live of the AI Leaks sneak peek. So if you haven't had a look at that, make sure to go to the ASM Leaks channel and give it a sneak peek, and you can see what the team has been working on and how it's looking, and honestly it looks great. I would say I'm very excited to play, but I have been and I've been getting crushed, which isn't the best, so I kind of got to pick that up and stop getting destroyed in these. But we'll go through the basic introductions for those of you who are new here. I'm Dan, support manager, as well as I host these AMAs. David, would you like to introduce yourself to the new people here?
Yeah, so David Mcdonald, founder of Altered State Machine.
Awesome. And Ice?
Incognito Ice, just around the Discord, a little bit of socials, a little bit everywhere. Hey, everybody.
Jack of all trades, Ison. Today we're going through a slightly different format of the AMA, as there have been, some questions asked around. Let's get some. We've got the type form out there now, so you can send through pre-recorded sort of questions. So I've got a list of those here that we'll go through as well, sort of in between live questions. And we have our first new thing that will be happening, where we have Ice's segment. Ice, do you want to give them sort of a preamble of what your segment's going to be, and then take it away, really?
Sure thing. So we've called it TLDR News. If you can think up a cooler name, we're all ears. Just let us know. It's basically we touch base with each team and see like what the latest updates are, and then we share it with you guys in the beginning. That's pretty much it. Shall
Awesome.
I take it away?
Ice? Take it away, mate.
Without further ado, here are the latest headlines from the ASM ecosystem. So first on the list is the Community Genome Mapping event, where attributes will be assigned to different areas of your ASM brain's heat map. This is a collaborative effort with the prawns and will provide an opportunity for Genesis brain holders to participate and to give their feedback. Next up, you may have heard whispers about a void protocol, but what is it exactly? Well, I'm glad you guys asked. The Void Protocol will be a short recurring event for community holding Asto Energy to respond for calls to help. Participants will be able to deploy their AE to restabilize Aleria, and in exchange, they'll receive LP token rewards. Now keep a close eye on Brain 1 for any updates. And this is a reminder, migration is still ongoing. Participants in the LBA are advised to migrate from the LBA LP contract to the USDC Asto LP contract to continue generating Asto energy. And exciting news you may have heard yesterday, Asto is now listed on Gate.io and trading is live. This listing provides a great opportunity for Gate.io's 12 million plus registered users to learn about ASM. Now, the next legends. Pause for dramatic effect. Oh, I wasn't supposed to read that, but no, I'm just kidding. The locker room will be rolling out. Thanks, Dave. The locker room will be rolling out new features throughout the year, and we can confirm that the first mode of the next Legends game will be released this year. But I know what you're thinking. What's in the bag? Well, for starters, there will be 3 limited edition Muhammad Ali inspired fight outfits, one relating to each bag rarity. So each bag will feature one piece of the corresponding outfit, clothing, gloves, and boots. Some will affect in-game effectiveness and efficiency, And additionally, the bags will contain some items which will have in-game mechanics, and others will be purely cosmetic. And this is just from the game team. TNL is about training your boxer, but the game experience is to strategically train your AI boxer in order to fight other AIs and climb the leaderboard. Brains can be swapped out from fighters, but all brains require training time to adapt to their new bodies. That's all from TNL. And if you've missed it, the AI League has completed another round of internal testing and is opening up testing to prediction experience users with Android phones. And the win for that is next week. Now, in keeping with the atmosphere of a real news reading, I thought I'd like to pass it on to my Irish accent for the weather report.
Thank you, Ois. In weather updates, residents of Frostville can expect mostly cloudy skies with a high of 3 degrees. In Mega City, a partly sunny day with a high of 27 degrees. And in Melascore, there will be a chance of scattered sandstorms with a high of 28 degrees. Back to you in the studio, Ois. Thank you.
Oh, that was too good. Oh my god.
I don't know. I feel like he must have spent a few years abroad. That didn't sound quite right to me. But in closing, the Law Department is focused on the community with an external wiki currently under construction. On Discord, the World of Illyria category now includes 2 channels, Brainblog and Voices of Illyria, but this is due to expand shortly. And when it does, we encourage you guys to get amongst the fun. So that's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates. And Irish Accent Ice says goodbye too.
Thank you very much, Ice, and our lovely Irish correspondent for the weather update as well. Absolutely beautiful. And I believe, Ice, this is going to go out in a text format as well, just so people can read through it, just in case they missed it live. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. It'll be out in a few minutes.
Perfect. So if you did miss the TLDR news with Incognito Ice, it will be popped up in text as well. So for all of our lovely people that also take AMA notes, that one will be done for you, so you can add it to your notes, which we always appreciate too. It's very helpful that people do that for us. As always, it will be recorded too, and we'll get it up on YouTube as soon as we possibly can. At this point, people can put their hands up and start asking live questions. I do have a little list here of pre-asked questions through the type form as well, which we can honestly start kicking off. David, I got the hard-hitting questions for you now.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. It's things people have been asking over the last little while, so we thought we should go through them and get them out to you. So we'll start with a partnerships question. I'll just read them sort of verbatim as I have written down here. So with regards to partnerships, what industries are most of the inquiries coming from, and what are they looking for in partnerships with ASMs? Are there any partnership updates you can share?
So we've had, for our Altered State Machine, we've had a lot of interest from sports franchises, particularly, and that's probably because the things that the first games that we've been talking about have been sports orientated. But recently we've had a lot from other industries such as music, and as you know, our partners and shareholders, Warner Music, have keen interest of what's going on in that space, and then amongst others, fashion brands, and various other industries have been incoming, and we have quite a few planned in the future across different industries outside of sports. So the world of partnerships is interesting. We've got to make sure they're meaningful, that what they want to do can be done, and that it's not just a way to tick a box that they've done Web3, that they're genuinely interested in creating something unique and interesting. That's why we typically do more joint ventures than we do licensing, and I don't think we've actually done any just straight licensing. All partnerships that we've done across the ecosystem have been joint ventures, and that's the way we prefer to do it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, David. Let's get our first live question in. We'll switch it up. JJ, welcome to the stage. Well,
Hey, guys.
welcome. We can.
Okay, you guys are real quiet. Yeah, I think you guys covered a lot of my questions in the beginning, but real fast before we get into the seriousness. David, the community wants to know, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Whoa. Okay, sure. I wasn't prepared for this one.
It's the hard-hitting questions now,
Yeah.
David.
It's got to be one of the first three, released, not episode 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, I might have to come back to you on this one for a favorite.
All right, thank you, sir. I will step down. I think my questions I submitted got answered in the beginning from ICE, and so, but I'm looking forward to hearing any new news that can come.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Awesome. Thanks, JJ. That was you dodged that one, David. You know,
I mean, it's
a hard question.
It is a hard question. I mean, I want to go with Empire Strikes Back, but I'm not sure if that's my favorite. Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, there's a lot of them to pick from, depending on which ones you put in the list of actually being in contention for that, right? And then do you include like the series as well? You know, like you think things like Mandalorian, do they count?
I mean, that was good, but no.
These
are the real questions now starting to be asked for the first time. Our community is asking the real questions, the hard hitters.
Yeah. Well, I'll jump to another question here, David. About the All-Stars. So this one says, how big does the All-Stars ecosystem seem to be now? You are deep into planning and conversations with others. Is it just are they just going to be used for niche games like AFA, created by the internal team, or is it likely All-Stars will feature heavily across other titles outside of our ecosystem?
That's definitely our intention is for All-Stars to feature in other titles outside of definitely in the ecosystem, but also outside of the ecosystem. And we are in talks about some of that happening as well. But first of all, we want to start with our internal games and sort of set up a sort of template for how to use gamification of AI and our assets. Beginning with some smaller examples to get feedback from the community. So little mini games, and then start incorporating them into much bigger things.
Awesome, thank you very much. I think we might be able to just go like 1-for-1 today with the written and live, which will work out really well. Vulture, welcome to the stage.
Hello. Can you hear me?
We can indeed.
Awesome. So I had two questions. One is about Walker World and whether there's any kind of idea as to how those brains have been like used over there in their world. I listened to one of their MAs and there's talks of like NPCs and that sort of thing. And they are obviously not discussing whether it's like connected at all. But I was wondering if there's any kind of like, has there been any like alpha tests or like just even basic kind of internal prototypes made where you're able to see NPCs like acting and being alive with like a Gen 2 or Genesis brain at all? Or
yeah. So the tech teams have been working together, and I'm not gonna steal their alpha. That would be kind of rude of me, but certainly the partnerships is not just marketing. It is about having the Alter-State machine integrated into what they're building.
Awesome. Yeah, and I guess there might be consistent tech between the gods and goblins stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Guesses.
Yeah, there is a we are setting up standardized platform for altered state machine AI to be used within games. So you'll see consistency across probably all titles that we're directly involved in.
Yeah, because I mean, the dev tools alone would be super interesting for that, where it's like, okay, I'm going to populate my RPG. Like, what? How does that
Yeah.
work? Or like, yeah, I would be very interested in seeing that. And I guess my second one is about the Void Protocol stuff. I mean, it's very interesting, like reoccurring events. Like, do you think they will look in kind of form similar to kind of like how the LP or like the auction kind of like ran, where it's just kind of like, or even how the mining protocols are working now, it's just a lore based connection where we need Asto energy to stabilize some sort of cataclysmic event. And I guess just how are those rewards like determined for each event? Is it like tied to a real world figure, or I just wonder how that will work, obviously, but keeping a close eye on Brain One.
Yeah, so it's all part of the Cortex game, I suppose. Much like the other mechanics, and needs to be, part of the in-world lore and what's going on in that world, in that environment. As far as external connection, it's definitely not as part of the game. Having it connected to any external events would make it a security at the end of the day. And that's not what we're doing here. We're playing a game that has rewards, in-game rewards involved with it.
Alrighty. Okay. Well, thanks so much, and yeah, keep up the hard work. I'm very excited to see more this year. I applied for the Android testing, so hopefully I'll get my email at some point.
Yay! Awesome. I hope you like it.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Vulture, for your questions. And yeah, for those of you that haven't, if you scroll a little bit up in the ASM announcements, you will be able to see the form to sign up for the testing as well, which, as I said, will be going live next week. I think that was ICE or Irish. No, it was normal ICE. I'm getting confused now. Which ICE is making the announcements? Cool. We'll go through another question that I have here. There's a hard hitting one, David, I've got for you here. Maybe harder hitting than the Star Wars question, but it'll be close. So this one's regarding timelines. So obviously, understanding timelines can change due to a number of factors. The community would appreciate high-level target release dates for projects and regular progress updates. Are there any status updates or insights you can share on expected release times of things like AI League, AFA, TNL, and the text prompt phase of the Thingies art?
So you'll get the AI League, the FIFA AI League first sneak peek at that next week, if you sign up for the testing. And then, depending on the outcome of that testing, that will be released not long after. I'd probably expect maybe a couple of weeks to take some of the feedback from testing and tweak the things that the high value things that we can. And then we do have some TNL stuff coming up. I don't have a firm date to give you for that. And then AFA will follow after FIFA. And we'll pick up on some of the stuff that we've done for FIFA and begin to incorporate that into AFA for the release. Unfortunately, I can't sit here and give you many specific dates as it stands right now, apart from the immediate stuff, which is FIFA.
Fair enough. Thank you for your answer, David. And I think we're going to switch back to a live question now. PJ, welcome to the stage.
Hey
Are you
there.
there, PJ? Your microphone is currently muted.
Oh, I am
There he
live.
is. You are
Yes.
live. Welcome.
Hi. I saw the FIFA. Well, I must have watched that FIFA sneak peek leak about 50 times. It looks amazing. So, congratulations. Looking forward to using my brand new Android cheap tablet that I bought last week. I just wanted to know on the obviously you've been spending. Well, we understand you've been spending a lot of time on the Futureverse roll-up of the many companies that will form the larger entity. I just wondered, when you look holistically at that process, what do you think from purely an ASM ecosystem point of view, what's the best and the worst thing about rolling the community and the project up into the larger ecosystem?
Oh, great question. Yeah. So probably the worst thing is the disruption to the project. Which is not, it's not been a huge impact, but whenever you're doing something like this, that there is an impact, and it has sort of slowed things down a little bit. But I think the benefits are just hugely outweigh the negatives in this case. The benefits are that we are a sort of all coherently moving towards the same goal, which we kind of were before, but now we're doing it without a layer of bureaucracy in between. We have access to an extraordinary amount of funding to help us execute on that shared vision, and that's going to be important, particularly in the way that the market is right now. A lot of projects have just completely fallen over. A lot of projects with promise have actually just completely fallen over because of funding struggles at the moment, and because they had things like their treasury and centralized exchanges that have not held up their end of the bargain, and in crypto and that has not retained its value. So we've seen a lot of that in the market. It gives us the ability to tap into a whole bunch of talent across the ecosystem that before was a little bit more difficult to do so, and also to gain efficiencies by sharing technology at a level that we didn't before. So we no longer have to build a whole bunch of stuff that we would have had to build before, because somebody else in the ecosystem has built it, and their teams are actually just the same team now, as opposed to before where we were working together, but we'd have to go to them and request, and then have meetings about it, and then share information in a much less efficient way. So there's a huge amount of benefits into doing this roll up, and it's a super important milestone for Altered State Machine to get it done, and it enables us to do a whole lot more than would have been possible before.
Well, can I just piggyback on what you just said? So one of the things, obviously not when is it going to happen, but is the timing of the official announcement of what's going to happen going to be around doing something where it will generate the momentum that you need overall for something, or is it just waiting till all of the final documentation is signed, etc.? And on what you said about the funding, obviously we knew that you were well funded as Altered State Machine before. Does this change what you're trying to achieve by having an even larger war chest, or does it just make it more secure for you, knowing that you won't have any potential issues that you could have arisen before?
Yeah, so as far as the announcement goes, yeah, that's been the timing for that has been decided on by people much smarter than me when it comes to this sort of stuff. Um, so yeah, you expect that sort of Aaron and Shara are the ones in charge of that, and they have specific plans around the timing for that. As far as the funding goes, it expands on what opportunities are available to us, which weren't before, but doesn't change the vision of what we're doing. It just might make things easier than it was before. We have access to do things bigger and give them a better chance of success.
Cool, thank you. Just one quick one. Will FIFA be actively promoting the game when it's ready and live and available for people to start buying and playing?
If we do a good enough job, yeah. Yeah.
Cool, that's a yes then. Cool. Okay, thank you so much, guys. All the best.
Thanks, bro. Good to hear from you.
Cheers.
Awesome. Thanks very much, PJ. Cool. We'll jump back into another text question. David, you feeling spicy? Do you want a chill one this time? Where are you feeling? We can mix
spicy.
it up. Always spicy. All right.
Words.
Hard one. I don't know if this is spicy actually, but I would like to sort of hear your views on it. Maybe as from David and then from as sort of ASM. I guess those don't really have much of a disconnect. But one of the ones we've sort of seen a few times is how would you define a Genesis asset holder? Would you define them as an investor of the company, as an asset holder, as a user? How would ASM define those Genesis asset holders?
Good question. I can answer for myself, and by extension, I suppose that can give you insight into how ASM generally thinks about it. But I probably wouldn't classify asset holders as investors. I don't think the old way of labeling people kind of applies to this space. I would say you're more like collaborators, people who are on this journey with us, and deserve to be recognized for that in everything that we do. I don't think it's fair to call you just investors, because that implies a passive role, more passive than you have. I think somewhere between collaboration and partnership is where I personally see our community and how you've been involved in what we've built. Does that kind of answer the question?
I think so. I think it's a hard one to answer as well. But I like the idea of that it's more of a partnership, especially. I mean, if you look back at sort of very close to the beginning, a lot of the ideas around sort of even some of the rewards that Genesis holders got were driven by community ideas.
Yeah.
I think the biggest ones were like around how like arenas worked and all that sort of stuff was very much a collaboration between the people who held those Genesis boxes right at the beginning. And that wouldn't be something you'd get from an investor.
Yeah. No, that's true. And I'm just reading the comments in the chat. SEC aside, I genuinely don't think the behavior of our community has been that of investors. And I've seen communities, I've gone into Discords where the behavior of people who have brought their digital assets have been, or digital collectibles have been the behavior of investors, and it's not a great environment. It's not a collaborative environment. It's a pretty ugly place to be, in my opinion. And I've always loved the environment that the Altered State Machine Discord has sort of nurtured, because it's always been a collaborative conversation, even if it's hard stuff, even if you guys are not it's not all fluffy bunnies in the Alter State Machine Discord. Sometimes you guys have hard questions and that you deserve answers to, and I like to think that I can come in and answer those questions for you. You guys are not you don't hold back, and I'd like to think that we're transparent and give you guys the information that you need when you need it. But it's always been a different kind of atmosphere from those other projects where it's obviously just about shilling and quick profits. So I've always appreciated that, guys.
Awesome. All right. I think we have a special speaker coming up now, so let's get them on the stage. Welcome. Can you hear me?
You are recording. I'm not certain this will work. My seeker tells me that my written messages were delivered. However, I'm yet to receive any messages in return. We must find a way to amplify the receiver. I'm not certain this will work. My seeker tells me that my written messages were delivered. However, I'm yet to receive any messages in return. We must find a way to amplify the receiver.
The fuck was that?
I don't know, man. Something about amplifying a receiver.
Oh damn!
It felt ominous too, like just sitting in silence, listening to that. It was, yeah. All right. Well, you guys in the chat can break that down because I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
I probably was told, but I have no idea.
Yeah. Can the devs do something? Indeed. All right. Any other live questions? Please put your hands up. We've got a few more here on my end that we can go through as well. We'll go through a little decentralizing question. David, is it currently still the plan to completely decentralize the ASM protocol and the blockchain it will utilize and have it governed solely by ASTO?
Yes. It's an
easy answer.
Yep.
Easy answer. Yes, it is still the plan.
Yep.
I can mark that one as done. All right, let's go on to a root network question. The recent comms update around the root bridge challenge for TNL has stated boxes bridged to the root network will receive rewards. Does this mean another root challenge will be to bridge gem bags? And if so, will the rarity of the bags affect how much root is received?
So, I know it's not, as far as I am aware, because this is heavily involves the root network team, the work that's going on with the TNL stuff, is that boxes will go first, and it has been confirmed that they are subject to root rewards. Bags will need to wait on a piece of functionality that's been created for the root network around items, which will apply to items across the whole Futureverse ecosystem. And the root rewards involved in items hasn't been announced yet. That's what I understand.
All right, that's straight from David. Cool, thank you very much. We don't seem to have any more live questions at the moment. I'm just double checking that the setting is on where they can put their hands up, and they can, so that's good. Sometimes it does actually start off, so I tell people to put their hands up and they can't, which is really good. But I have another few for you, David. Actually, we've got a live question. Let's bring them up on stage. Tybo, welcome to the stage.
Hello.
Bro.
A question. It's been a discussion that has been somewhat going on in the Discord, and I guess I would like to hear your perspective on it. When you think about like ASM as a company compared to a traditional company, one is Web 2, one is Web 3. what is, in your mind, the main differences compared to, being a traditional Web 2 company that has to always have the shareholders' best interests at heart, whereas Web 3, it seems it's like a more collaborative where you got to have the community in mind. Like, do you see, what do you see that like the differences are with that, and how do you like view it, I guess, is sort of what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, good question. Pretty deep question. And I think we're actually, currently living out one of the examples of the difference between a Web 2 company and a Web 3 company is having this dialogue with the community, and having, we're currently 174 collaborators in this essentially meeting um, uh, with us right now, giving your guys perspectives, letting me know and letting us know what's important to you guys, and the fact that we are, daily accountable to um, to a much larger community than just shareholders makes a big difference. I think the main difference is that when we're going out and we're getting shareholders and investors in the company, because you know things take money, engineers cost money to hire, and all the people involved in building this, you need that money to make sure people can pay their mortgages and feed their children. We still have to have incoming investment to get the things done that we want to get done. But when we go out to find these people to provide that capital, we have to make sure they're aware that this is not a Web 2 company, that this is a collaboration between a community, and finding those kinds of investors is difficult in a long process to find people who actually understand what Web3 is about. But once you do, then it makes balancing all these forces much easier. But it's not a simple thing, as I think has been pointed out in the Discord before, that it is a delicate balance between company, staff, community, investors, and also my vision. Like I can't hold on too tightly to my vision when I put it out there and I get feedback from you guys, and you're like, well, that's probably not right. So I have to rethink, constantly, what my intentions are, because it's not just about what I want or what the investors want or what the community wants. It's about the best outcome for everybody involved. So yeah, it's tough, but I think ultimately Web3 style of doing things yields better results than the old make profit at any cost for shareholders model of Web 2.
Yeah. So my understanding is that like I always have the thought that if you only care about the shareholders, then what's going to happen is that the Web3 community will probably be angry and leave, and then the protocol's not going to thrive because you've just screwed over the community. So I've always seen it as like you have to have the best interests of everyone involved, otherwise it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I guess it's a philosophical thing, like with Web3. I feel like a lot of people have been hearing, like whether it be in the Fluff Discord or even sometimes in the ASM Discord, it's, oh, we're just customers. Oh, but I think it would be important for you to reiterate that, it's not just, you don't just see us as customers, you see us as collaborators and, being involved in more than just buying something and then hoping for the best sort of thing.
Definitely more than just customers. I mean, the amount of input that I've gotten, the amount of steering that had on the project from the community is definitely puts you in a position where it's not just another customer. And it comes back to that balance. You know, if we were just community led, then you know, let me tell you, a couple of $1 million doesn't go very far when you're trying to build, you know, big, interesting things. Big gaming properties. If you go and look up what games cost to build and how long they took to build them, you would soon realize that, you know, a 10K NFT drop's not going to get you there. You need to come up with a balance where you have investors, and you collaborate with your community in order to do these things. And that's been our goal from the beginning, is to be able to actually have the resources to pull off some of these things that the Web3 community have been promising. And to do that, we have to all work together. You know, company and community and investors.
Awesome. I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts. I guess that's the main points I wanted to get across. And I think it's a whole, like, getting into crypto. A lot of people probably don't quite understand the deep philosophy behind Web3 sometimes. And I think it's good to have conversations about it and get people to realize that, you know, it's not just a typical thing. Like it's almost like we're evolving in the way that we interact, and having this technology as the middleman allows for us to be able to do this. So I appreciate especially ASM and the Futureverse, because I feel like you guys are very philosophically aligned to my beliefs as well, and I hope others can learn and see that too, and that we're all in this together, and it's not just about making money, it's about making a better world. So yeah, appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man. And consider throwing some of these questions to Aaron. You all give him easy questions all the time. But but other than that, I think he's got a really good philosophy on this that would be interesting to hear. So next time he's doing an AMA, I would suggest maybe asking him that question as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll do.
Cool. Thanks, bro.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for your questions, Tybo. Let's go. I think I've got one or two more questions here. If you do have questions also, you can write them in the chat if you don't want to jump up on stage. I've just seen one pop up, so I'll try and get to that shortly. Let's have a look. Let's do a Futureverse integration question. So it's loosely been discussed in the past that AI would be integrated into into the other Futureverse projects. Can you speak to any of those and how developments are coming along, if you can, and if you have any information on like the next stages of Thingy's art, and do you have any information on Buzzies as well? It looks like they're asking, but I don't know if you can answer those.
I haven't been briefed from the other teams on what I can and cannot answer about those projects. So that would definitely be better served in a Fluff World AMA to talk about Buzzies and Thingies. But as far as older state machine technology goes, we've got a number of things ready to be released. And out of the projects that we're specifically been working on, so fully custodians of, such as TNL and FIFA, there'll be some releases coming shortly on those. And FIFA, as we said, next week, the testing will begin on that for the community to get involved. But if you're asking about when Buzzies or when Thingies, then I'm going to deflect that one to Alex to answer, or Aaron.
All right, you heard it here. Everybody go harass Alex and Aaron for that answer.
Yep.
But don't tell them that I said that or David said that. All right, let's get the next person on stage here. Mometa, welcome to the stage.
Hey guys, thanks for having me up. Now, I just want to piggyback off the back of that last question. Because we've had Silo come out and tell us that the Seekers are currently mining, so we know that, then ASM backed that up by saying, yes, the Seekers are mining Asto. As this is something the team's talking about, you're very excited to share with us. I was hoping you could elaborate a little bit more on that.
Well, Seekers are in the story of what's going on across the ecosystem. Seekers are have a great amount of utility in the things that they can do and the way that they contribute to the stories. So do things like materials that you'll start seeing popping up. So things like apherite, which goes into making the brains, has a whole bunch of utility outside of just being the substrate for Gen 2 consciousness. So you'll start seeing a whole bunch of cross-ecosystem lore and events happening, utilizing the characters and materials present in the different ecosystem worlds.
And they really are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, you gave me a little bit. You gave me a little bit. But what I also want to know is ASM has stayed very neutral over the last couple of weeks. I want to know from you. I want to know from you, David.
Yeah.
You got crispy critters leaving your wallet or not?
Oh, I mean, I can't lie because it's the blockchain.
Don't take sides. Don't take sides, David. Don't take sides. We're in neutral ground.
If you did see my wallet, you would happen to see some amulets on there. I'm just saying.
You heard it here first, folks. It's the truth. He's cooking them. All right. Thanks for your time, and I look forward to learning more about how the Seekers and ASM are going to work together. Very exciting. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Awesome.
If you noticed, I've had a little bit of goblin in me all along. If you've noticed my Twitter handle or Twitter name.
I'm trying to stay neutral. You know, I've got 5 void background seekers, and they're chilling. You know,
you've chosen a side. You've chosen a side. That doesn't sound.
Well, no, I'm just too lazy to click buttons. You know.
Oh, okay.
So you can stay neutral by picking a side. Yeah. I opened it. I looked at it. I saw that I had enough. I think I had 6, but one of them had the snake in the backpack, and I couldn't burn my snake.
No, it can't burn the snaky boy.
You can't burn little snaky boy. But
oh no,
we'll
Monty.
see.
Oh no, Monty's listening.
Yes, look, you picked the side, David. I mean, it's rough out here for Seekers. It's rough. Looks like we got another speaker. JJ, you got a follow up, mate. Welcome. Hello. And is my audio gone, or is no one speaking?
No, I just think JJ, his mic is not working.
Yeah. All right, JJ, have you tried turning it off and back on again? Bam, I've done my job. While JJ tries to get that fixed, we'll leave you on stage, JJ, to see if you can get it fixed. There was a question in the chat, David, that basically states, we don't know what our accessories do yet for All Stars. Can you take us through potentially how an accessory would work for our character? They've put an example of the burger. Does that mean we could sell burgers in a stadium? Does it give us an energy boost during games? The question also applies to backpack items for Seekers, which you probably can't speak on either way. But for the All-Star accessories, do they have in-game? Do they do anything in game? I think it's the main question.
So for the All Stars, we had some initial plans around the accessories that we've tested out, but have become less of a priority than the rest of the core game. So I'm going to be straight with you guys. See, the accessories and their functionality is not our priority when it comes to getting AFA into your hands, but we're not abandoning our plans for them. We're just deprioritizing the functionality that we were considering for them. That in saying that, accessories across the ecosystem are actually pretty important, and you'll see functionality for certain traits and accessories pop up in a whole bunch of ways. So accessories are going to be important for All Stars for things like what are we not? We're not calling them gangs. We're calling them what are we calling them? Factions.
Actions, yeah.
Yeah, factions and teams and groups and stuff like that. And also they'll turn up as functionality within various games too. But for AFA, I've deprioritized working on specifically accessory functionality in favor of focusing on the core game.
I think too, another thing with the accessories is, once again, if you have ideas of what they should do or could do, tell us. I think it's always really interesting to see what people think they might do, and we can always use those ideas, you know. Like the burger, having access to a burger shop is a cool idea. I don't know if it can be done, but it sounds cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good idea. So if you do have ideas like this, put them in. You know, tell us. I'm always really interested to see them, and I know David is as well.
And
all right, let's see if we can get. Sorry.
Of course, as always, all hail the Plunger Queen.
Well, I guess so. Depends what faction you belong to with that, you know. JJ. Still not working. Are they server muted? No. All right, JJ, it's not working. Write your message in chat, and I will read it. I will get your question asked. It doesn't look like it wants for you to work right now. All right. Is it still in the plans that All Stars can eventually breed, in quotes, a new All Star? If so, what do you think the timing will look like? Close to AFA launch?
Yep. Still on the plans, and yes, close to AFA launch.
There you go. A very easy, quick answer for you there. Yes. We love those answers, right, David? It's nice.
Yeah. I like those questions.
Cool. We probably have time for one more person to jump up on stage if there is anyone left that wants to ask a question up here. If not, I know JJ is typing out his question as well, so we'll get to that as well. As Discord's not playing nice for them right this minute. I guess we can take a second, David. Is there anything you wanted to discuss today? I guess, is there anything that's been on your mind that you've wanted to talk about?
Thanks for throwing me in the deep end there, Dan.
No worries. It's a casual one. Think of it casual. You know, just bants. No accidental leaks here.
I do want to say to the community, thanks for your support going through this process, and with the market like it is at the moment, it's been difficult for everyone, and I've just really appreciated, you know, jumping on Twitter or the limited amount of time I've had to jump on Discord and finding a nice place where people are treating each other with respect has been pretty comforting over the past few months. It's been pretty stressful for us on our side, getting this transaction done and doing the roll up and dealing with the massive IP that we've been dealing with, and the weight of all of that, and just having your support has been immensely valuable, and just made it possible. You know, I don't think I would have gone through it all without you guys. And I'm always here to help with whatever questions you've got as much as I can. And I just love to see the way the community supports each other. So, I tip my hat to you guys for how you've been over the past few months.
Awesome. Thanks very much, David. And so the question JJ had has to do with, I guess, the cross-pollination of seekers to Aphrodite. Regarding the tweeted thread on Aphrodite with the seeker with the drill. A couple people picked up drill seekers. Is there a benefit to holding certain kinds of seekers for Aphrodite and or any other things?
Sorry, you broke up there.
I broke up there. Hold on. So there was a tweet that went out in regards to Aphrodite, with seeker with a drill, basically to drill Aphrodite, and a couple of people have picked up seekers with drills. Is there a direct benefit to holding those, the seekers with the drills in, I guess, what would be assumed some sort of mining for Aphrodite?
Not that I'm aware of, but now that seed has been planted, I am going to be bringing it up.
So the correct answer is maybe.
Yeah, unless Lenny wants to answer that question.
Nice. We get to throw other people under the bus now. We pass it on. I throw you, you throw Lenny.
Yeah.
And then Lenny's got to throw someone else under the bus after that, and we'll carry it on, and we'll see who will say something. That's it. But I think that brings us to our time. So I just want to say thank you all, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for sending them in through the type form as well. Shout out to Ice for his lovely TLDR segment. Shout out to everyone who worked on the document, getting all the questions together, chasing tails. I know Henno did some work on there, Brian, Isaac, as well as Steve with the law portions. There's probably heaps of people I'm missing, but thank you to the team for making this new format really nice and smooth. We've tried it before with sort of picking out questions from Discord, but this has definitely streamlined it a lot. Let us know your feedback on how you found the sort of new layout of the AMA, anything else you'd like us to change or improve. I think this has gone really, really well. Thank you, David, for joining us for the AMA once again. Any sign-off notes from yourself?
No, all good. Thanks, guys, and look forward to the next one.
Awesome. Thank you very much, team, and have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, or wherever you are. Thank you very much.